mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Also brought to you by your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. This is Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Here's Gary Dolphin.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into our coverage of Hawkeye football. It starts tonight with our out-of-the-box Hawk Talk with Coach Kirk Ferentz. Kirk will be around. He'll be by here a little bit later on, but we are so glad you joined us, not only here at View Rooftop, at the top of the Hilton Garden Inn. What a panoramic view we have of downtown Iowa City and Johnson County on this beautiful day around Hawkeye country. But we have special guests lined up tonight for our opening show. You know, the bottom line is school has started. Academics are front and center once again. Football's coming starting Saturday, and then, of course, everything else falls in behind football, the other 23, 24 sports that the university handles, and all doing well. Coach Dave Diani and his top 10 ranked soccer team, women's soccer team, is out of the gate with a couple of big victories. They're playing, I believe, tomorrow night. So their season is underway. Football starts Saturday over at Kinnick Stadium, a late afternoon kick at 5 o'clock with the Great Danes of the University of Albany out of New York. And we'll talk about them a lot throughout the evening, especially when Coach Ferentz gets here. But this is the 136th year of Iowa football, and it's a year unlike any other that we've experienced in the previous 135, due simply to NIL and transfer portal and pay for play and TV revenue and expanded college football playoff system. We'll get into all that, if not tonight, certainly in the first couple of weeks of the season. Iowa's schedule is as difficult, I think, that's just my personal opinion, as it has been in at least a decade. And to think that they don't play, the Hawks don't play Michigan or Ohio State, to make a statement like that seems to be pretty bold. Just take a look at the opponents, especially the road opponents, at Southern Cal, at Nebraska, at Iowa State, at Wisconsin. And then who's coming to Kinnick? Penn State, number 2 on the preseason AP poll. Penn State, Oregon, the Oregon Ducks, and it doesn't matter to me how many people they've lost from a year ago. It's Oregon. They have got talent that they just plug in each and every year. And the Ducks come to Kinnick Stadium, I believe, for the first time ever. So that's going to be a fun evening. Minnesota rolls into town with Floyd of Rosedale. They won't leave town with them, but that's another story for another day. And, of course, Indiana, revitalized Indiana Hoosier program, made the playoffs less than a year ago. That's Iowa's homecoming opponent. But it starts Saturday over at Kinnick Stadium, a sold-out 70,000 plus, clamoring for back in black as we are. It's Fry Fest weekend. It's Hall of Fame week. There is so much to digest here, but of course the centerpiece is the football game, and I'm happy to be back for another year along with my broadcast partner Pat Anger, the former great middle linebacker All-American at the University of Iowa. Pat's with me here tonight to get this ship out of the dock. Good to see you, big fella.
I appreciate you having me back, man. I'm glad football's starting because that means school's starting and my kids are going to school. So
You've had a busy summer, haven't you?
Yeah, I watched a lot of terrible baseball this year, terrible youth baseball. Yeah.
But, boy,
ready for football.
You're having fun.
Yes.
I got 3 grandkids. I saw more softball and baseball, Little League baseball games this summer than I can remember. But it's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch them grow.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. You're right. Yes. The prices at Little League games are high, too.
Yes.
At the concession stand. But we're not going to get into that. But it's great that the summer is turning to fall. And, I was talking to Brandon Sheriff the other day. Big Brandon out there in Denison. He just retired from a 10-year NFL career. The 5th overall pick by the Washington Commanders 11 years ago in 2014. He had not been back to Iowa since.
Wow.
And he said, I can't wait to watch the leaves turn color. There's no more rabbit hunter or fisherman than Brandon Sheriff, with the exception of maybe Robert Gallery.
Yeah.
But needless to say, Man Mountain Sheriff, who's going into the Hall of Fame, the Hawkeye Letter Winners Hall of Fame this weekend, he's delighted to be back in Iowa in the Midwest. He plans to come to a few games at Kinnick. So it's going to be a great fall. This schedule, agree or disagree? I mean, you played some tough schedules when you were here 10, 15 years ago, but this one rivals them all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, back in my day, we had things a lot harder to, I'm just kidding. But, it's definitely a challenging schedule, but it's also an opportunity. And that's the best thing about it is we're going to see where we're at, and we've got the best staff in the country. And the kids are going to work hard. They're going to fight. I love the fact that we're welcoming Oregon to Iowa City for the first time. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
My deal's always been win your home games, pick a couple off on the road. Now you're at 9 wins, and in this new college football format, a 9-win team with this schedule, that's at least a wild card contender.
Yeah, it's tough to beat. I say just win them all just to make it easy.
I would agree with
it.
Yeah,
we're going to be there.
What am I thinking? We don't want 9-3, right? 12-0. That's Pat Anger. By the way, it's the 10th anniversary of that 12-0 team 10 years ago that went to the Rose Bowl with C.J. Beathard and other Hawkeye greats, George Kittle. But that's for another day. It is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, and we are live at View Rooftop. Come on out. We'll be here until 8 o'clock each and every Wednesday night from 6:30 until 8. View Rooftop atop the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. Again, the home of Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. They have tantalizing dishes, a great menu, creative cocktails, and expansive views, as I mentioned at the top of the show, around downtown Iowa City and all the way out to the airport. We're 12 stories up. And as the coach and I break down the scouting report on each week's opponents, you can come here and enjoy your favorite beverage. You can sit outside, weather permitting. They've got a tremendous deck, a wraparound that goes around our lounge and the dining area. Of course, the menu is always delicious. The food is always great here at View Rooftop. We thank View for hosting us again this year. Well, new quarterback. Everybody wants to talk about the new quarterback. Other than middle linebacker, you tell me the quarterback is the most important position on the team. So what about Mark Gronowski? This guy knows north and south. 133 career touchdowns. He's 49-6. Coming out of South Dakota State, back-to-back national championships. We've gotten to know him a little bit. What do you like about him?
Well, his golf game's pretty good. I mean, we saw him hit a couple balls there. That's impressive. And he looks like a quarterback. Like if you're going to Google what a quarterback should look like, it's Mark. It's Mark. He looks amazing. He's a competitor. He's a winner. And the one thing that's really cool about him, obviously, he just got chosen to be team captain. The guy that came in injured, came in new, and he's earned the trust, and he's been that leader of that team already, and he's proven that, and that's pretty special. That should be something we should look forward to.
Most of his teammates, at least all of that I've talked to, say he's a leader, and no wonder he's a captain.
Yeah, and I think the best thing about his leadership is there's no ego. It's all genuine. There's nothing fake about it. So that's somebody that you can fight for. That's the same thing that Rick Stanzi had. A very genuine guy, a guy that would go to bat for you.
Mark, tough kid out of Chicago, and what I love, he's Tim Lester's guy now. Lester runs that Green Bay Packer offense. They throw to the backs a lot. They get the quarterback out on the wing, on the run, look downfield, get rid of it if you want to. Otherwise, tuck and run. This guy's 6'3", 230 pounds. He can put a beating on you.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a guy that I'm glad that I don't have to tackle. And he extends those plays. We haven't been able to really have that recently. A guy that can really consistently extend the plays and also have a great arm. That's going to make a tough challenge for anybody that's going to play us.
On the flip side, everybody's been hand-wringing over no more Jay Higgins, no more Sebastian Castro, no more Nick Jackson. And my response has been, in Seth Wallace and Phil Parker we trust.
Yes. The one thing with that, a lot of people, having experience, it's a luxury, but it's not necessarily a necessity. Nobody knew who Jay was when Campbell was playing. Nobody knew who Campbell was. Nobody knew who Morris was. Nobody knew who he is. Josie,
Jewell, James Morris. I think Iowa fans have come to trust Phil Parker. Coach Ambrose from Albany in our pregame visit coming up on Saturday's pregame show raves about Phil Parker. He said they have been top 5. His line was, they have been top 5 in defense since World War I. Phil will be happy to hear that. Well, yeah, and we'll talk about the Montgomerys and the Harrells in the middle, Jackson Rexroth. Yeah. Carson Shire had a great spring. He's had a great fall camp. And Carson's started a lot of games. He's played a lot.
And amazing number 43. That's where they give the best-looking dude that number on the team every single year. And
the best-looking dude?
That's, trust me.
That one got by me.
It's in the bylaws.
What was your number? Oh, wait a minute. It was 43.
I didn't even realize that. But he has it. Just watching him in practice, he has it. He's got that it. He's tough. He's fast. He runs the ball. He fights. He competes. He's going to be a guy, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then my kids can start wearing that 43 jersey around town.
With pride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now they've got 15 43s in the dresser drawer. They don't have a choice right now. All right, Pat Anger, one of the all-time greats at Iowa. He'll be back with us shortly. We have another special guest in just a minute. There's a huge blood drive going on, kind of some competition between Big Ten schools, and certainly the University of Iowa is at the forefront. Mandy McClanahan from the University of Iowa healthcare blood drive and recruitment specialist is going to stop by as one of our special guests tonight when we come back. Again, we're at View Rooftop. We've got room for you. Come on out. We'll give you the Facebook and Twitter posts if you'd like to get your questions in for Coach Ferentz when he gets here a little bit after 7 o'clock. It's our maiden voyage of Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from View Rooftop. Back in just 1 minute.
Fall's the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Ferentz. We're excited about the football season. Iowa Corn is pumped up for their season and their partnership with the Hawkeyes. When you drive to the game, support Iowa's corn farmers by selecting unleaded 88 at the pump. It's a fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet. It's worth the hype. Get pumped up with unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Here come the Hawkeyes.
And a Stokey racing to the basket, layup good.
Iowa Athletics is gearing up for another amazing season filled with exciting matchups and electrifying plays.
He's working hard into the corner. Koch hits a three.
Get your game face ready and come on out to cheer the Hawkeyes on all season long. Visit HawkeyeSports.com to find tickets, schedules, game times, and more on Iowa. Go Hawks.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! Welcome back to Hawk Talk from View Rooftop, live in downtown Iowa City. We got all of our regulars here tonight, or most of them, and a lot of new faces. Great to have Hawk fans, old, new, familiar, and first-time visitors here to the University of Iowa, and of course, equally important, View Rooftop. We're here each and every Wednesday from 6:30 until 8 o'clock. It's opening week, schools going, first football game at Kinnick. Boy, it'd be great to get back in Kinnick and listen to the noise and the back in black and the cheerleaders and the student body and 70,000 hoarse voices by the end of the day as the Hawks host Albany. Albany's out of the Coastal Athletic Association. Good football team. They were we've followed Northern Iowa's program for many years, an FCS power, or 1AA as they used to call it. Albany was one of those, and their head coach Ambrose is a longtime quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, and tutored Joe Flacco, as a matter of fact. He brought Joe Flacco along, who became a 12-year NFL veteran. I think Pat Anger even played against Joe Flacco. We'll talk about that later on. But right now, we want to spotlight something bigger than the game, an effort that is literally saving lives. The Abbott Company and the Big Ten Conference are gearing up for year 2 of We Give Blood. This is the largest blood drive competition in history, and a conference-wide effort to combat the worst blood shortage that the United States has seen in a generation. That is scary, so we need everybody's help in the listening audience. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood, including trauma victims, mothers experiencing complications from childbirth, and people receiving medical treatment like cancer. Tonight on the show, we welcome Mandy McClanahan from the DeGowan Company and the University of Iowa Healthcare DeGowan Blood Center to talk about this important effort. It seems like we're always talking about a blood shortage, but the need is never ending.
It's just constant, people are always having babies and having complications. There's always going to be accidents with traumatic injuries. People are going to have cancer. People are going to need transplants, and we need blood for that. And, there's no synthetic. There is no synthetic blood. The only way we can get blood for people is from other human beings. So think about, if you or a loved one needed blood and it wasn't there, it'd be pretty awful.
It's something we've taken for granted forever. You're hospitalized, you need blood. Oh, yeah, they'll grab another
exactly.
one, another pint off the shelf. It doesn't work that way anymore with an expanding population. And
yes.
The baby boomers are aging.
Yep.
And so, as you know, the need is great.
It absolutely is.
It sounds like there's a healthy blood drive already underway or scheduled for later this week at Fry Fest over in the Iowa River Landing. Can you give our listeners some details?
Absolutely. So Fry Fest is awesome. They have always been a good supporter of ours and allowed us to do blood drives there. So we're going to be there this Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., just off to the side in the Oakdale Ballrooms next to the trade show. We would love to have people come out and stop in and see us. If they can't donate that day, I will certainly have information to let them know where they can donate at another time.
They can stop in next week.
Absolutely. Yep.
Many college athletes are brought up, implored to donate blood starting in high school. The competition is tapping into the competitive spirit of fans during the football season. Mandy, why don't you tell us about it? Hopefully it's inspiring the next generation of people to come out and donate. If you go to a blood donation center, usually the average age is 40, 50, 60.
It's up there.
We need the youngsters, too.
We absolutely do. And that's one thing I love about my job is I'm here on the university campus. And so I'm working with students to get them to come out and understand, the importance of blood donation. And I will say, I was born a Hawkeye. We're competitive people, We really are. And so, my call is for, hey, everybody, let's have 2 Big Ten championships this year, right?
I would agree. And it's not just for students that we're calling all Hawkeyes fans.
All Hawkeyes across the nation. Let's show, everybody that we have Hawkeyes in California and New York, all over the country. They can donate at any donor center, and then after their donation, they can go to big10.org/Abbott, and that's where they can submit their donation for the University of Iowa.
Now, every school in the conference is involved, or at
Absolutely,
least the gauntlet's been thrown down.
Yep.
You can win $1 million grant.
Yep.
What does that mean for the students, the community health initiatives at Iowa?
The $1 million grant, so I'll tell you, Nebraska won last year, which
Boo. Well, no, good for them. We want.
Ultimately, it's we're all winning because we're getting more blood, and we're getting donors who are starting at a young age, and what I really liked is what Nebraska did with the money is they spread it out to different organizations throughout the university, and I just thought that was really cool that they did that.
Terrific.
And like I said, ultimately we're all winning because we're getting more blood donors starting at a younger age, and hopefully that will become a habit. The number one reason people don't donate blood, they're not asked. They are not asked. And so what Abbott is doing is putting that ask out there. So every Saturday we're gonna see ads about this. We're gonna hear the coaches talking about it. And it's the platform that they have is just astounding.
Hawks, you can donate. Hawk fans, you can donate at any blood drive or blood center across the United States, starting today and running through December 5th.
Yes.
And to Mandy's earlier point, you can, after a person donates, they can log their donation for Iowa or on behalf of Iowa at big10.org/Abbott, ABBOTT, 2 B's, 2 T's. And if they want to find a place to donate or submit that donation, same website, right?
Same website. And then they are doing something different this year. They have a special T-shirt for all the schools. Ours says Hawkeyes Give Blood. It's a pretty cool T-shirt.
Really?
It's got Herky on it. And so after their donation, once they've submitted their donation to the site, they'll get a code so that they can redeem that shirt from Abbott.
Who doesn't want a T-shirt?
I always want a
T-shirt. Where the Hawks are involved, right?
Again, I think that's why I started donating blood. It was for the promo items.
We can all use another T-shirt, right?
Absolutely.
Big10.org/Abbott, ABBOTT.
Nope.
Mandy McClanahan from the University of Iowa Healthcare DeGowan Blood Center talking about this life-saving venture. Donate blood, Hawk fans, between now and, donate blood anytime, but especially now through December 5th. And let's put the Hawkeyes in front and win the competition when the Christmas holidays are here. It's not just the Red Cross anymore where you walk into the Red Cross Center. There's so many places that you can give blood outside of what we're talking about tonight.
Absolutely.
But we're all Hawks here, so go get them, right?
Absolutely. And, I have to give a shout to DeGowan. Every unit that we collect goes to a patient at UI Healthcare. So I tell people it's not leaving the hospital until it leaves in someone who needs it. The only, exception to that is if it's up in an air care helicopter, and because they do take our blood up there as well. So I think that's something that's really special about DeGowan. It's Hawkeyes helping Hawkeyes every day.
Saving lives every day.
Absolutely.
Mandy, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
How about a hand for Mandy McClanahan from the University of Iowa Healthcare DeGowan Blood Center. Back with more Hawk Talk and Coach Ferentz right after this pause. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Hello, Hawkeye fans. This is Bruce Gerlman, and I own Jethro's Barbecue. Have you heard the news? It's really big news. Jethro's Barbecue is now open in Coralville. That's right, across from the Hawkeye softball diamonds on the Coralville Strip. Jethro's is your game day headquarters. Call ahead and order your tailgate barbecue from Jethro's. Before the game, during the game, after the game, stop in Jethro's and eat my amazing slow-smoked wings and my world-famous baby back ribs.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
Hi, Hawk fans. This is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. Hard work, resilience, commitment. That's what it takes to succeed, whether you're battling on the football field or working the farm fields. With fewer than 5% of Iowans making a living off the land, the Iowa Hawkeyes are proud to stand with Iowa's farm families who work hard every day to feed and fuel yours with dedication and care. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo on their helmets. It's not just a symbol, it's an important reminder that farmers are the backbone of Iowa and the heart of our country. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate 40 years of America Needs Farmers on ANF Game Day, October 18th. And don't miss your shot to win the ultimate ANF fan package. 4 reserve seats, sideline access, and an autographed football. Enter now at americaneedsfarmers.org. Thank you for standing with Iowa's farmers. We'll see you at the game.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz rolls along here at View Rooftop. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thanks for tuning in on the Hawkeye Radio Network. If you're traveling down I-80 or some country gravel back road, good to have you in our listening audience. We're at View Rooftop every Wednesday night for Hawk Talk. Stop by on football Saturdays, too. Iowa's season opener is at 5 p.m. this Saturday afternoon over at Kinnick and here at View Rooftop. It's a new experience unique to Iowa City. You can immerse yourself in an invigorating environment, comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating, high-definition TVs for watching the game, game day specials always on here at View Rooftop, and, of course, live music. You can enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at VUE, View Rooftop, at the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. Here's the phone number for reservations. I'd call early. Most of the games are sold out, and I'm sure they will be here too, but they've got room for you. Call for reservations at 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. Pat Anger, my broadcast partner, former Hawkeye All-American, and great pro with the Indianapolis Colts, is settling back in here with me. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification before we talk more Iowa-Albany. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from Learfield. Pat Anger, since you're from Bettendorf, let me welcome in our new Quad City affiliate to the Hawkeye Radio Network at WQUD FM 107.7. 107.7 FM WQUD. Hi to the gang in Marshalltown, KFJB 1230 AM and 93.9 FM. Up in Spirit Lake, up in the lakes, beautiful in Okoboji this time of year. Spirit Lake, the home of KUOO 103.9. And down in Shenandoah, KCSI 95.3 FM. And, of course, our go-tos, our flagship stations, WHO AM 1040 in Des Moines and WMT in Cedar Rapids, AM 600. Pat Anger, what are the pitfalls of opening day? I mean, the guys have been practicing now for a month. They're ready to hit somebody in another colored uniform. I get that, but what are the coaches what are they always cautious about on opening day. A lot can go on that you don't anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, not overlooking UNI in 2009, that's a big one. But, this one's a little bit different. They've got a new head coach. You're not necessarily sure what they're going to run. Probably should be very similar to what they did last year. But they do have a lot of new guys that came in. It's kind of nice this way. I prefer it this way because the focus is on yourself. The focus is on doing your job. And it's almost like a short week in the NFL where the preparation is great because the focus is really on you and less about what if they do this. And we saw this on tape 2 years ago. And they did this and that. With a game like this, with the team, you're kind of unknown as far as what they're going to do schematically. Just do your job. It's great. I enjoy this.
Everybody wants to run the football, especially on opening day, because everybody's a little overly cautious about turnovers. Hang on to the football, run it, establish the run, then take your shots. At least that's typically the MO for most teams.
Yeah, the big thing, you want to show a lot without showing a lot, if that makes sense. You want to, like you said, control the line of scrimmage, stop the run, no big plays, no turnovers. But you also want to let's not show everything we have. Let's not go a little bit too crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing how we do up front, to see how we dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And I'm super excited about obviously watching Mark get out there and be on our side this time instead of in one of those weird South Dakota State jerseys.
And that's a key factor here because with Gronowski, you've got a 5 going on 6-year veteran who could be in the NFL right now, but he wanted to showcase his skills at the Big Ten level. He's won 2 national championships at South Dakota State. I'm not saying turn him loose, but let's see what he can do on opening day.
Yeah. And one thing, too, like I said, maybe not show too much, but also you do kind of want to show something that makes Iowa State spend extra time practicing. Like maybe swing a gate or something on special teams or some trick play or something that we've got to waste time for, that they've got to waste time on practicing and worrying about.
Let's go to Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Well, I'll tell you what, let me give you the sites where you can reach us. We're on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. That's facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks if you'd like to join the conversation with Pat and I and Coach later on. We have a U.S. Cellular text line. Good to have U.S. Cellular back with us this year. That number, if you'd like to text a question to us, is 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344. Or you can email us, hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com, hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com. Of course, we're live on the Hawkeye Radio Network via the Varsity Network app as well. And you can watch us. Great to have Aaron and the crew here from KCRG 9.2, Television 9.2. Aaron Rooney, Deke, and Mike, veteran crew. They've been with us a few years, broadcasting live from View Rooftop. Pat, obviously, you didn't get the memo about television. Little pancake, little rouge underneath the eyes, but other than that, you look great.
I'm getting sunburnt from these lights here.
You weren't out late last night, were you?
No, that was last. What was that? Last Thursday with you.
No, I left before you did. You mentioned the lines. If there is a storyline that bubbles over, it's the offensive line and the defensive line. Both have many veterans coming back. Both are ranked in the top 2 or 3 in terms of talent coming back in the Big Ten. Let's start with the offensive line. When Logan Jones at center, the All-Pro decided, or the All Big Ten, he's going to be an All-Pro at some point.
I'll go with All-Pro for sure.
He's the closest thing to Tyler Linderbaum that we've had in a while. That changed everything. You talk about an anchor for the offensive line. He's it. And him snapping the ball to Gronowski, everybody should sleep well.
Oh, for sure. We go how Logan Jones goes. Probably one of the biggest freaks, I would say, probably in the country as far as athleticism and strength. And the guy's a big guy. He's fast. He's... he squat 10,000 pounds and benches 9 million pounds? Like, the guy's unbelievable. Can't hit a golf ball straight, but he hits it far wherever it goes.
He crushes it.
And an intelligent guy, too. Like, it's great that Mark's coming in with that experience. We've got an extremely experienced center to really help him out.
Yeah, they grow him tough and strong in Council Bluffs. Jennings Dunker at right tackle. The name fits the personality. 6'5", 6'5", 315 pounds from across the river in Lena Winslow, Illinois. He on a number of services is rated the top returning senior right tackle in the Big Ten. That's a big get for the Hawkeyes. He could have turned pro. He came back. He and Jones will be the co-anchors of that O-line.
Yeah. Jennings looks the part and plays the part. He plays with the rage, and to have a guy that big and also that athletic, and with that amount of experience is such a huge help at tackle.
Bo Stevens is back at left guard, the senior out of Missouri, and then the latest mauler is at right guard, Cade Pieper, the sophomore out of Norfolk, Nebraska. Those two guys are nasty.
Yeah, having Bo back is great. Guy's a tough guy. Pieper, we've heard so many good things about him since he's got on campus. Obviously had to put some weight on, came in a little bit skinny, but he's found those calories, and I'm excited to watch him succeed this year.
Cade's 6'4", about 290. And then the one spot we haven't talked about, which they typically say is the most important on the offensive line, that is the left tackle that has the right-handed quarterback's blind side. That's been a battle. Jack Dotzler, the junior from Waunakee, Wisconsin, is 6'6", 312. They expected him to take that job this year. And then here comes Trevor Lauk, the sophomore from Indianapolis. He's really battling Jack for that position. Both are probably going to play Saturday.
Yeah, I think so, and it's a good thing that there's competition there, because if you got two guys that are really good, they're tremendous, they're competing, like that's huge. That's what you want. I mean, it would be nice and easy if somebody would just take it over, but the fact that there's a fight for it, that says a lot about the men in the room.
How about the defensive line? Let's start with Aaron Graves, All-American candidate, grad transfer. He is as good as advertised. He's heralded around the country, making most of the preseason All-American teams. Aaron out of Southeast Valley High School up near Dayton. He's a real deal.
Yeah, plays with the rage, but is also super intelligent. What I love about him is when you get those big D tackles that run to the ball, that go sideline to sideline, you really don't have that very often. And for him to have that range is super impressive and is huge for our defense.
Defensive ends, both all-conference candidates, Ethan Herkett, Max Llewellyn. Mad Max, Ethan from Cedar Rapids, Xavier Max out of Urbandale. Between Graves, Llewellyn, Herkett, all were north of 6.5 sacks last year. I love it when they spread the wealth around.
Yeah, I mean, Mad Max and his spin move is pretty fancy. And, the Incredible Herc, great man, tremendous player, great Hawkeye, and a great leader, too. That's the one thing about all these guys on this D-line. They're very, very good leaders, and they're the anchor of our defense.
Let's take a question off of Twitter here. Let's go to, Eugene's asking about the left tackle position. We'll get Kirk to comment on that. But Eric wants to know what position group has improved the most since the start of camp. Thanks, and go Hawks. Thank you, Eric, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Well, we haven't seen every practice, but I will tell you that the running backs, there's no surprises there, except they're really deep. I mean, Lester's got 3, 4, 5 candidates he can throw in there, including true freshmen. But right now, the guys, Kamari Moulton, I mean, I've loved that kid since the day he stepped on campus. And Jazz Patterson will get his tugs on Saturday. And then maybe the most intriguing, if not improved, is bringing Ty Washington back in at that tailback spot. Now, they can still line him up from wide receiver. They can still put him in the slot and run the jet sweeps if they want. You can bet Lester is going to get creative with Washington. He's the fastest guy on the offense.
Yeah, and the great part about it, just kind of like how you said that, they all complement each other very, very well. They all have different skill sets that cause danger on the defense. And Ty Washington, as soon as he came on campus, we've heard amazing things about him. And like you said, the fact that he can also play receiver, he was a big-time receiver in high school. That's pretty nice to have that guy that big that can do that and also run the ball up the middle.
And to Eric, and what position group has improved the most? This might be the deepest group of receivers that I can remember
That's exactly
in
what
a
I was
decade.
Yep. And they've got year 2 under Tim Lester's offense in their belt. They're not green anymore. They're confident. They're more mature. That's exactly what I was going to say as far as who's improved the most, the receivers. And you got Caden Weegan out there, catching balls too. I'm looking forward to that.
You don't think he's going to want the football?
I think he always does. I think.
Jacob Gill led the Hawks last year with 35 catches. a little over 400 yards, a 12-yard average, and a couple touchdowns. But Seth Anderson, Caden Weegan, KJ Parker is a young guy who's flashed. And, of course, Addison Estrenga and Zach Ortworth will be the main primary targets at tight end. Sam Phillips, the transfer, came in here from Chattanooga. They like him.
Yeah, he's made some waves and had a lot of success previously. He's extremely athletic, very, very shifty guy, and he'll make some plays for us on Saturday.
A guy that we're familiar with, Coach Ferentz, just walked in.
I thought they were clapping for us.
I thought they were clapping for you for sure, but we'll get Kirk up here. We'll take a break here. Thanks for your question, Eugene, on Twitter. Coach has arrived here at View Rooftop, where we're anchoring Hawk Talk with the coach each and every Wednesday night. This is our maiden voyage tonight. We're sponsored by Hawkeyes. Every great season starts with a strong foundation. For farmers, that foundation is healthy soil. At Hawkeyes, we're restoring life to the soil with over 800 species of microbes, helping grow stronger crops, more profitable farms, and healthier communities. Hawkeyes, the future of farming starts here with Hawkeyes. Learn more at Hawkeyes.com. That's Holganix, Hawganix.com. And you can entertain your friends, your clients, employees, every home game at Hawkeye Village. Friends this fall, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Packages include game tickets, catered food, and beverages. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for more details. Navigate Wellbeing Solutions is an employee engagement company helping organizations create more health and happiness in the communities they serve. Learn more at NavigateWell.com. NavigateWell.com. We're back to View Rooftop in a minute. Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Hi, Hawk fans. This is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. Hard work, resilience, commitment. That's what it takes to succeed, whether you're battling on the football field or working the farm fields. With fewer than 5% of Iowans making a living off the land, the Iowa Hawkeyes are proud to stand with Iowa's farm families who work hard every day to feed and fuel yours with dedication and care. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo on their helmets. It's not just a symbol, it's an important reminder that farmers are the backbone of Iowa and the heart of our country. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate 40 years of America Needs Farmers on ANF Game Day, October 18th. And don't miss your shot to win the ultimate ANF fan package. 4 reserve seats, sideline access, and an autographed football. Enter now at AmericaNeedsFarmers.org. Thank you for standing with Iowa's farmers. We'll see you at the game.
Your Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team is serving up Big Ten excitement this fall at Extreme Arena.
Winning stall catches the back line. The Hawks win it 25-21, and they take it in straight sets.
With fast-paced action and fun for the whole family, Iowa volleyball is the perfect way to spend an evening. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss out.
And that'll go for a block.
For more information on tickets and the 2025 season, check out HawkeyeSports.com.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
We're back on Hawk Talk live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. Thanks to View Rooftop for hosting Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz each and every Wednesday night. The coach has joined us. Pat Anger is here for opening night as well, my broadcast sidekick. Great to have Patrick alongside. Coach, he could hit people.
He could and probably still can. I'll try not to be one of those targets.
Never.
Yeah, and so I think I can leave right now. You guys got it covered. I don't know what you need. You've been to practice.
We've saved some subject matter for you tonight, but it's always great opening week. I mean, fall camp is over. It doesn't mean you're not practicing just as hard this week. The MO changes a little bit, but it's go time, right?
Yeah, it does. It really shifts. At the end of last week, we wrapped everything up. Friday was our last day on the field. The guys were off Saturday, Friday afternoon, late afternoon, and Saturday, and then came back in the building Monday or Sunday afternoon, and we just did a walkthrough, maybe 20 minutes, something like that. So, good couple-day break there, and Monday's pretty light for us anyway. So just nice to transition into game week, and after, I love camp, and I don't know if the players do, but I do, but. At some point, it's time to transition, and we were certainly at that point at the end of the week, and the guys really did a good job practicing. I thought the effort was consistent. It was good, and it was consistent, most importantly. Weather cooperated a little bit. We had a couple of days that were really heated up a little bit, which is good also. But overall, I think it's been very, very productive, and we're probably like every team in America right now that hasn't played. I know some teams played last weekend in week 0, but at some point, you got to get on the field and find out where you're at. And first game you learn where you're at, and the last game you learn how far you traveled. So and how well you traveled. But right now, it's all about seeing a lot of new faces in there, seeing some old ones, which is good, but also seeing some new faces in. And we've had a chance as a staff to watch the guys 4 weeks and evaluate what you see in practice, which is obviously very, very important. But everything you do starting in January is geared towards game competition. So now we'll finally at least get a chance to see us playing against somebody else, and you got 12 opportunities. So, let the games begin.
You tell them every year, nothing wrong with girlfriends. There's nothing wrong with a social life, but give me the next 12 weekends or the next 12 weeks of your life, and we'll do some special things. That's a good way to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, these guys they're not pro football players. I know they're getting some revenue share money now, but they're not truly professionals in that this is not all they do. They've got, academic life, which is really the number one reason nobody's talking about it anymore, but it's the number one reason you're going to college, athlete or non-athlete. And so they got that to contend with. They've also got their social lives, which, every college student should have one. But just being able to manage all those things, manage their time, manage their energy, that's critical. And, if you want to play well on Saturdays, there's a lot that goes into it. And we have a 20-hour rule, which is a good rule by the NCAA, but I doubt many of our really good players stop at 20. They do it structured-wise, but the work they do on their own, just like they do in their class subject matters, you have to invest other time. You got to study if you want to get an A in whatever organic chemistry, and you certainly have to study if you want to be a great football player. And Pat would downplay that, but playing middle linebacker, playing quarterback, there's a lot that's on your shoulders, a lot of communication. You've got to know more than just your job, and so that takes really a big investment, and it's a lot easier if you love it,
Speaking of quarterback, you've got a veteran there, a fifth-year guy. He's already got his mechanical engineering degree. He's working on his master's at Iowa. But Mark Gronowski's been the talk of the town. He's going to get his first snap on Saturday at 5 o'clock against Albany. And he talked about the challenges, Kirk, to your point, the challenges of learning this offense.
I think just learning the footwork of this offense has been a little bit different for me, and it has been a change in my style of football. So I think that's kind of been the thing that's taken the longest. But right now, in the past couple of weeks, I've really started to get into my groove and really started to feel comfortable back there in the pocket. And the offensive line has done such a great job this offseason, and they're going to continue to get better throughout this year. So it's just me being comfortable, having slow feet back there, and just keep playing my game, and I'll be good.
So what will make Saturday successful for Mark Gronowski?
A successful day, I wouldn't look at it more of myself, but as a team, just continuing to be efficient and not have any turnovers, get over I mean, our goal is always try to get 10 or 8 to 10 big plays throughout the game, and just continue to be efficient on first down, work on what we've been working on, and just kind of see improvement throughout the game. It might not be pretty first off, just right off the bat. It's going to be our first game. There's always going to be a couple bumps and bruises throughout it, but just continuously seeing growth throughout the game is going to be a successful day for us.
You know, most of the players around him on offense that I've talked to that in the spring and here in the fall camp, the first word they mention is leader, and he sounds like a leader.
He really is. He's an extremely mature young guy, and his story is a great one. He just wasn't recruited by any Big Ten schools, obviously, and no MAC schools coming out of Chicago. Went the FCS route, played for a great program at South Dakota State, and had an unbelievable career. And the one thing that jumps out, I mean, 2 championships, and I think they lost in the other championship game. So, the success is not something foreign to him. He's really got just a good head on his shoulders. Obviously, an outstanding student, mechanical engineering, but also just a great person, very humble, very grounded, and confident. There's no arrogance to him at all, and he's no cockiness, but he's quietly confident, and I think he's really done a good job. Tough coming in here when he's injured, but throughout the course of the summer, especially, he really players got to know him on a better level, and it's all good. So, just it's been fun to watch his progress. He got to get started here 4+ weeks ago, and took a while to get his feet on the ground. Just a lot going on mentally and getting back in the groove there, but. Done a really nice job, and probably my number one fear is him just feeling like he's got to do too much, and it's typical of any quarterbacks, especially new ones, where they want to just make every play perfect, and sometimes you got to let the team work for you as well.
Yeah, and maybe I'm short on this number. You had 3 guys get married this offseason. Does that mean that they're making too much money that they can afford a significant other? Not that our wives are expensive, but I've heard that sometimes they get expensive.
So if they were making money, they're gonna it's going right out the door.
I don't even know the password to my bank account anymore.
You and I are the same. I just hope my wife is honest, yes. And still's home when I get there.
I feel like if she's going to put up with me, she deserves it.
There you go. That's only fair.
Well, for the record, Aaron Graves, Ethan Herkett, and Logan Jones. 3 Hawks that are vital to success this year got married. Aaron to Aubrey Hahn, Logan Jones to Amber Asoff. Hope I got that right, Logan. And Ethan Herkett to Megan Callahan up there in Cedar Rapids. They were married on 3 consecutive weekends in late June and early July. And Graves, Aaron, and Aubrey announced in early August they're expecting a baby boy. So
about that?
A lot going on. And to Pat's point, though, it's not foreign that guys are married that are on the football team. But talk about it's already a balancing act when you're just playing football and going to class. Now, either you have a family or you get married. That's a multitasker in my view.
Yeah, it is. And this. At least during my time here, I think is a record. I don't remember us ever having 3 guys.
Nobody wanted to marry us.
Yeah, well, that's fair and easy to understand. But, so it's a record. And all 3 of these guys are just extremely mature guys, all good players, great leaders on the team, highly respected. And, it's just one more thing. But all these relationships are pretty long-term, and it's one more thing to manage. But I think in all 3 cases, both parties are up for the equation, and just happy for all 3 of them.
Happy note. We'll take a break, come back with Coach Ferentz, Pat Anger, and yours truly, Gary Dolphin, in just a minute. It's our opening night of Hawk Talk from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City at the Hilton Garden Inn. And throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk series, as you know, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan, just like the Hawks. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination in being the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. It is a bin-busting crop about to be harvested a couple months down the road. Iowa Corn. Thanks to Iowa Corn and the Cy-Hawk series for supporting the Hawks. You can get your yard ready for fall with the proven power of steel. From cleanups to cutbacks, Steel has the tools to help you win every weekend. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Back to View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in a minute with more Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Hi, Hawk fans. This is Hawkeye coach Kirk Ferentz. Hard work, resilience, commitment. That's what it takes to succeed, whether you're battling on the football field or working the farm fields. With fewer than 5% of Iowans making a living off the land, the Iowa Hawkeyes are proud to stand with Iowa's farm families who work hard every day to feed and fuel yours with dedication and care. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo on their helmets. It's not just a symbol, it's an important reminder that farmers are the backbone of Iowa and the heart of our country. Join the Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau as we celebrate 40 years of America Needs Farmers on ANF Game Day, October 18th. And don't miss your shot to win the ultimate ANF fan package. 4 reserve seats, sideline access, and an autographed football. Enter now at americaneedsfarmers.org. Thank you for standing with Iowa's farmers. We'll see you at the game.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
We have the head coach of the Hawkeyes on board with us, Kirk Ferentz, our opening night for Hawk Talk from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City. They await your reservation for Saturday's game. If you don't have a ticket to Kinnick, you can watch it right here at View Rooftop. Tune in the Hawkeye Radio Network as well. We'll give you that phone number to call View Rooftop. Are you ready? 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. They'd love to host you for this Saturday's game, or any weekend home game or road game here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Stop in and enjoy the Hawks at View Rooftop. John Deere loves to see the Hawks do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. They've been growing their winning team since 1837. John Deere, whether you're cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, nothing runs like a Deere. Good to have John Deere back on board with us this year. You can reach Coach Ferentz on the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344. Kirk, I want to talk about Albany here in just a minute, but let's go to Billy, who's down in Quincy, Illinois. He's on the U.S. Cellular text line. Hypothetically, would Coach Ferentz ever consider allowing a former player to transfer back to Iowa from the school he transferred to previously, maybe in extreme circumstances like to fill a significant injury slot on the roster? Well, in general, that's something you're not used to doing, but How do you answer Billy's question?
I mean, you never say never. It's one of those things. It's all case by case, and you hate to lose anybody in your program. But one good thing about the portal is if somebody gets here and doesn't feel like this is a great fit for them, or they feel like maybe they aren't getting a fair shake, then it's probably better that a guy does leave, quite frankly. And we're not advocating for that, but if you do have guys that aren't happy, it's I think. The coach of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, always said you don't want any hostages in the building, and I think that's really true. So, there are some positives, but usually when guys leave, they have their reasons, and it's just sometimes it doesn't work out like any relationship. But I think the whole key is from the starting point to just be really transparent in recruiting, and we try to give our guys our prospects a realistic review of what it is we do, how we do things, and. I think the problem is sometimes everybody thinks they work hard, then you get somewhere and it's a little harder than maybe you thought it was, and those types of things. But anyway, it's tough to be a good college football player, tough to earn a degree, and what have you. So, I mean, we'd be open to anything, but hopefully, to me, the key is doing the right things at the front end of the relationship, so you get the right people there, and you're not having a lot of transition. I think that's one thing we're really happy about and proud of is the fact that we are really low in probably national scope. I know we are on the Big Ten as far as guys leaving our program. We don't. It's one of the reasons we don't bring a lot of people in because we don't have a lot of vacancies available. So, the idea is to get guys and not have attrition. That's the perfect world from my vantage point.
And let me segue on that because we've talked about this, and not necessarily on this show, but a big part of your approach is, and historically it's been proven out, we want you to walk out the door with that degree and then play in the National Football League. We're going to get you ready for the NFL, where the big money is, or bigger money. And Pat, I want to bring you in here because you were a star for 5 years with the Indianapolis Colts. When you left with that degree, I mean, how did that affect the rest of your life? Because you knew you weren't going to play pro football forever.
Well, I thought I was at the time.
Yeah. Well, most people do. Don't they?
Yeah, I did. I learned very quickly after 6 surgeries that wasn't gonna work out. But yeah, I led on. I leaned on my degree quite frequently, and obviously just when I was trying to get into the business world, having played for Coach Ferentz, having been around one of the best leaders ever, and also having that degree from a great university like Iowa, it made it really easy to get a job, especially for a guy that was as ugly as me and needed to be in sales. It's tough being an ugly guy in sales.
Well, you
that's a valid point.
Yeah, you weren't going to Hollywood, but Kirk, I think he validates what that approach means at the University of Iowa.
Yeah, I think one advantage athletes have, and anybody competes in the Big Ten in any sport, but certainly in football, I know that the best. Any employer or graduate board review process, before they even meet the prospect, they already know something about them, that they've had to work hard, they've had to endure hardships, ups and downs. They've had to be part of a team. Certainly, football is the ultimate team sport. So, if you participate in a Big Ten football program, also have earned a degree from a Big Ten university, it's a great head start.
You're set.
And if you're a scholarship athlete, you leave without debt. Those are all great things and great advantages. But we don't. There's nothing in our mantra and nothing in writing. We don't advocate. A program goal is not for our guys to go to the Big Ten or the NFL. A lot of guys want to go there. They all want to go there, and rightfully so. But the reality is, as Pat referenced, like you're not going to be there forever. The average, first of all, you got to make a team. That's hard. Yeah. Secondly, you're going to be there 3+ years if you're that fortunate. And most guys, unfortunately, have some type of injury. It's just a game that doesn't make sense orthopedically. So going back to the whole premise of this thing, our goals are for our guys to graduate, have a good experience socially, and then maximize their football experience. You can't do any of those three if you don't stay for the entirety of your career. So that's our biggest thing. We want to get the right guys here and have them start to finish, walk out with a degree, and hopefully have a great career.
And that's where you and your staff have been so good and consistent down through the years. Before we take a break, Coach, I want to go to our email. Mitch is in Grinnell. He wonders, how do you schedule teams like Albany and UConn on the non-conference schedule? He said, I'm not complaining, I'm just curious. Kind of a couple of fits that you wouldn't expect coming in the non-conference.
Yeah, it's actually UMass. I'd be nostalgic if we played UConn, my alma mater. But anyway, yeah, we're playing UMass. And, it's interesting. I'll start with Albany. I had a choice. This is probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. And, of the choices, Albany looked like the best one to me. I didn't know a lot about them. A year or two later, it's been a couple of years now, they were like in the top 5 in FCS football. And I'm like, whoa, okay, so watch out what we tackle for. There's a young guy, Verse, that plays defensive lineman for the Rams, who is one of their stalwart players. They've had some guys that, a lot of transfers.
Verse, a great defensive
outstanding player. He happened to be at Albany. He was recruited out of Eastern PA, under-recruited, and developed into a really good football player. But so anyway, long story short, we play 9 conference games, and one of the big Power 4 conferences has just made that commitment to join that league too. So we're going to be, we have always played 9 conference games. I think everybody knows we play Iowa State too, so that's 10 Power 4 schools. So our philosophy is to, go with those 10 schools and those 10 games, and then schedule a, mid-level Division I school and then an FCS opponent. So that's what we've used through the past, and I think you would, argue our schedule's been pretty competitive over the years, and
Indeed.
We're comfortable with that approach.
That formula's worked. As we go to break, Coach, let's talk about our University of Iowa Healthcare Stead Family Children's Hospital Kid Captain. And out of the gate, first Kid Captain of the year against Albany is Nolan Stevenson of Oskaloosa, just 6 years old. And if you're watching on KCRG Channel 9.2, there's a good look at that brave young man, Nolan. Nolan was injured at 6 years old in a farm accident. He was rushed to UI Stead Family Children's Hospital with life-threatening injuries. Over 3 months, he endured more than a dozen surgeries, including complex pelvic reconstruction and skin grafts. Today, Nolan is thriving. He's walking with a prosthetic leg and continues his care with his team at Stead Family Children's Hospital. Coach, what do you want to add to that? It's they're all emotional, but he's a special young guy. I met him at Micah Hyde's foundation outing earlier this summer.
First of all, just the concept of the Kid Captain program is outstanding. It's a win-win for everybody. And then secondly, all these stories are just absolutely amazing. And Nolan's certainly one of those guys. I think it was 84 days in the hospital. Think about that and the family. So it's just it's amazing what the doctors and all the support staff do over there, the nurses, the therapists. It's just an amazing place, and so many great stories like this. And the real heroes are the kids that get honored. And unfortunately, we can only honor 12, but boy, it's a long list, and it's just really, really impressive.
I would not want to be on that selection panel. How do you come up with 12?
Thanks. Yeah, no thanks. I'd rather be on the college football selection deal.
There you go. The Final Four selection deal.
And I'm not volunteering for that either,
No.
I promise you.
I know you're not. Well, Nolan, get ready for a standing O from 70,000 people on Saturday at Kinnick Stadium. More Hawk Talk with the head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Kirk Ferentz, and All-American linebacker Pat Anger coming up here when we come back to the View Rooftop from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
Fall's the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Soccer Complex is home to one of the best programs in the country, the Iowa Hawkeyes. With free admission and parking, Iowa Soccer is one of the best family-friendly options around. The fast-paced action is sure not to disappoint. Find a match that works for you. View our 2025 schedule at HawkeyeSports.com.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Wonderful opening night here at View Rooftop. Thanks so much for coming out, you folks here at View. Look at that sunset out there, Coach. I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else in downtown Iowa City. Out there on the deck, they're enjoying that. Or is that Bob Foley's mug? No, it is the sun. Yeah, Bob casts a long, light shadow, and but it's beautiful. Yeah, you can't complain about the weather, Coach. This
week has just been ridiculous. It's been resort weather. Yeah, just beautiful. And for the most part, camp, the guys had heat in July they contended with. But camp, we had a couple of days that were a little sticky. But otherwise, yeah, it's really been pretty good. I actually prefer that because I think you get better quality work. It minimizes the risk of injury. I think your percentages go down a little bit. So it's all good. And it's, you can't complain. And I mean, I like the seasons. I love the hot weather as long as we're not. I'd rather not practice in it, but love it. As long as you have to wear a tie, also that's the other stipend there. But yeah, I mean the seasons are great, and yeah, to your point, we should move this show outside. That's beautiful. Man.
Usually, when weather's good during camp, it means that it's going to be 750 degrees on the first game, and it looks like Saturday's going to look really nice.
So it'll probably be a second game.
Yeah, that's true.
11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah,
there you
go. To your point before you got here, Brandon Sheriff's on our Fight for Iowa podcast this week. He and Bob Bowlesby. And Brandon had not been back in all 10 years of his NFL career to Dennis in Northwest Iowa. I said, what are you looking forward to? You got Jenny and the kids now, and you'll be out hunting and fishing. He said, I can't wait to see the leaves turn color. He said, I haven't seen that in 10 years. That's a farm boy who loves Iowa.
I talked to him today, and he couldn't get over it. He said, boy, this weather is just fantastic. He's used to being in a sweatbox this time of year, so he is enjoying that. And, boy, what a tremendous young person he is. Forget about football player, just tremendous person. But, boy, what a football player on top of it.
I asked him what it was like when he first came to Iowa going up against the defense every day. And he mentioned Pat Anger by name. He said, I was just a freshman. And Anger threw a couple forearm shivers into my jaw. He said, I learned real quick what it's going to be like at Iowa and in the Big Ten. You wouldn't do that, would you?
I had to have been Josie because I think I was well gone by then.
Were you gone?
I think so. I would never fight in practice.
I don't know.
Never. All right, Coach, we're going to give you a first shot at this Hawk Talk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Our email. James is in Des Moines. Now, I know James Morris lives in Des Moines. I'm guessing this is not James, but Pat, Gary, and Coach, who do you think is who has been or who's going to be the biggest surprise this year from each position group, special teams, defense, and offense, respectively? I'm going to let the head coach go first on that.
I was going to be curious to hear what you guys said.
Well, I've got my guys.
Let's hear them.
All right. Well, on offense, I like what you're doing with Terrell or Ty Washington. bringing him back in the backfield. Not that he hasn't been there before, but it's hard to beat speed, and you get him involved. I love the Jets sweep opportunities last year, so he would be my offensive guy, James. Defensively, Jackson Rexroth. I just have loved that kid since the day he stepped on campus. He's got that long, wiry body. He's not Andrew Van Ginkel, but he reminds me a lot in the way he gets upfield. And he's got his shot at the Leo linebacker. And on special teams, I don't have an answer for that, but I will tell you, personality-wise, I just love Reese Dakin. Not that he's a freshman All-American returning, so it's not like he's going to surprise anybody, but I think he'll take it to the next level. How'd I do?
I think well. Yeah, I think well. I wouldn't argue with any of those. They're all really good players, good prospects, and I think that's one of the things I'm really just curious to see how this team does perform. And there are a lot of areas right now where those are all players we've heard of, but I think they're all capable of really taking another step and are going to. With T.J. Washington, he played receiver last year, mainly because he's got really good ball skills, and we didn't have the experience, the depth out there, so we were looking for any kind of help we could get. I think that group's really improved as a group, so now that allowed us to maybe more work T.J. exclusively back in the backfield, and he looks very comfortable there. Really did a good job that way, and he and Kamari and Jazz are the three most experienced guys there, but I think you're on the money there. TJ can do a lot of good things, and we've seen him do that. Rex has just done a really good job defensively. He's been a good special teams guy. He'll continue to do that, and also is a really good defensive player and just worked hard, came as a walk-on, kind of like that Schulte guy who was from the same school.
That Schulte guy, yeah.
Ended up being a 3-year starter. So two really good ones, and then Reese has played, as you noted, but I think he's already improved a great deal, and he's got so much more in front of him, just in terms of consistency and every punt, especially when you get in the plus 50 area, there's a little different challenge, and he's just gotten better and better. He had a couple today from the left hash, which is a little bit more challenging in the right, but he did two really nice ones today. So I've seen improvement from a lot of guys, and a lot of guys, the first two you mentioned hadn't played a lot, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do when they get more time out there and more exposure. And like I said earlier, you work hard to get to the game, and then really what you do in the game is what counts.
Pat, I'm not going to put you on the spot for three guys, but you've watched a few practices. Anybody sticks out? I could have mentioned Zach Lutmer. I mean, there's a number of guys that I think are going to really elevate. Anybody in mind for you?
Well, obviously, I'm partial to Carson Shire. Great number.
Yep.
He flies around. He plays a little bit of a rage, and I appreciate that. He's a competitor. The only guy that actually talked to me after the practice just kind of picked my brain. There's really not much left in there, but took the time to allow me to give him a terrible answer. But Cohen Intringer, he's a guy we've heard a lot about him since he first came on campus. Has played behind some really great players. Hasn't had a lot of time on the field, but team captain, and now it's his time. That's somebody that I'm really, really looking forward to. Seems like an amazing kid, super intelligent. Love his athleticism, love his drive. Looking forward to both those guys.
Interesting. Both those guys that Pat mentioned, I think, have a lot of similarities. They have been playing behind good players first and foremost, and that's sometimes that happens. We just had a guy, Jay Higgins, who made his way onto the roster with Baltimore as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah. How about that?
And that's an organization that I think appreciates the right things in football, and so it was a great place for Jay to go. But again, when he had his chance, he was playing behind a pretty good player in Campbell. So we've had a run of All-American linebackers, as you know, sitting next to one here. So, but both these guys have been deterred by both good players in front of them and then also some injuries, which is obviously Cohen had to go through an ACL repair and rehab from that, and then Carson's been in and out. But I agree with Pat. I think both of them are ready to roll. They've practiced well. They've been out in the field consistently, and they're eager to play.
Cohen Intringer, who's in Phil Parker's defensive backfield, he's just looking forward to an injury-free season.
It's nice to have a full off season, just to be able to kind of hone in on your craft. I feel like last season I was just kind of working on trying to be able to walk and run again. But it's definitely good to be able to look at the film from last season, look at things work on, whether it's my footwork, my man technique, or even just my run pass read. So it's just a good opportunity to be able to do all that.
I just love how vocal Cohen is. He's yelling at his teammates out there. He and X-Man are going to make quite the combo back there. We'll look forward to seeing him Saturday and going forward. When we come back, we're going to get Coach's thoughts on, as we wind down this week's opening salvo of Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz from View Rooftop, get his thoughts on Albany, the Great Danes. But right now, tailgate at Kinnick, literally, that's right, the Kinnick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. This includes your tent, parking, cooler, and tables, and it's all set up in Krause Family Plaza, just steps from kickoff. You won't have far to walk once the game starts. Don't miss it. Here's what you do. Go to HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate. We'd love to see you in the Krause Family Plaza starting this Saturday. And Hawk Talk with the Coach is brought to you tonight by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They know you're here for every moment, every touchdown, every tackle. Wellmark is here for every moment, too, with healthcare coverage you can count on. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/touchdown. And we're back to wrap up this week's show in just a minute on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Fall's the season for game plans and for powering through your to-do list with Steel. Whether you're mulching leaves or trimming back before winter, Steel tools help you finish strong. Trusted by pros, built for you. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Ferentz. We're excited about the football season. Iowa Corn is pumped up for their season and their partnership with the Hawkeyes. When you drive to the game, support Iowa's corn farmers by selecting unleaded 88 at the pump. It's a fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet. It's worth the hype. Get pumped up with unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
It's the Hawkeyes in Albany, the Great Danes, coming up Saturday, 5 o'clock for the kick at Kinnick Stadium, and 3 o'clock for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Gary Dolphin with Pat Anger. Coach Ferentz, a couple minutes we have left here. Really impressed with Coach Ambrose at Albany, the job he's done there. He was the offensive coordinator with the Delaware Blue Hens, and they only scored like 100 points a game. But he developed and brought along quarterback Joe Flacco. So this guy's an offensive genius, but good team from FCS days now to FBS.
Yeah, he's done very, very well. And, Coach Gattuso was there for several years. He played at Penn State, ironically or interestingly, when I was a GA at Pitt in 1980. He was on the Penn State team from Pittsburgh, South Catholic in those days. It's changed. But,
and he's back at Penn State now as
back at Penn State. Well, I don't know what he's doing exactly, but he's at Penn State. And so anyway, yeah, Coach Ambrose has been elevated to the head coaching position, but also, as we understand, he's still calling the plays. They did name a coordinator, moved a receiver coach to quarterbacks and coordinator, but my guess is, yeah, he's very involved. So, in the first game, you never know for 100% because, people go out and visit with other people, that type of deal. But I think at least we're fairly safe in saying that, what they've done schematically the last couple of years, we can pretty much count on that. That's not such a variable, but the wild card is personnel. Good luck figuring that out. And I think I counted 39 players that played at previous colleges on their roster. So
they brought in a bunch.
High number of transfers, and it's part of the deal. They're more veteran on defense, or at least we can see on film the guys that we're going to see Saturday, we think, on the defensive side. But on the offense, there are very few, a lot of new faces, that type of thing.
Ron Holmes is their team captain and a heck of a linebacker. He's certainly the best player on the defensive side of the football. They've got others, but Ron Holmes is a guy that you want to be aware of.
He and the other outside linebacker, number one, they're probably the two most experienced linebackers. 41 is a new starter and a younger guy. And then they're really veteran in the back end. Most of those guys are back. Number 7's a new guy, but 29 was back. 7 beat them out, so they feel good about that, and we'll see what happens Saturday. But we hear reports that number 3 is a really up and coming player at corner, so I don't know if he'll be starting or not. 21 has played very well for him, so I wouldn't be surprised if 21 and 3 end up being the corners.
3 is Brad Igwicki, and he was injured all of last season. Cornerback, a heck of a player, though, heck of an athlete. They have a new quarterback, Jack Shields, who came in from, he was at Old Dominion, then Buffalo. So he's got Division I experience.
He does, and he can run a little bit, will run, so we got to be alert for that, and it's always another element in an offensive attack.
Kickoff at 5 o'clock. I know you always love opening day. So much going on. Hall of Fame class. Bob Bowlesby, the guy that hired you, is being inducted into the Hall. I know that makes you, that warms you up.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll just go back to the schedule for one quick second. It's really a sign of the times, I guess, but 3 of our first 4 games being night games is that's unprecedented, I'm pretty sure. Unless they did it in 1948 or something like that, but I doubt they did.
Without lights.
Yeah, that would be a trick. So, 3 out of 4 and then 1 Friday night game. So that's kind of weird in itself. But, yeah, the Hall of Fame class, I mean, they're all great. But this one seems to be really loaded up. And, Bob Bowlesby, the job he did here during his time. And think about the stability in that position. Beth is only the 4th one now since Bump came here. I think that was 1970, and so the stability there, and then a guy named Brandon Sheriff. I mean, what a football player, what a human being. So it's just those are really good deals, and it's great to see good people get honored.
Coach, good luck. We'll see you over at Kinnick on Saturday, and we'll see everybody else at Fry Fest on Friday. Hawk Talk has been brought to you tonight by the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes, our friends at U.S. Cellular. I'm Gary Dolphin. Pat, thanks for coming by, buddy.
Hey, look forward to seeing you, man.
We'll be back here at View Rooftop next Wednesday night, and we'll talk Saturday from Kinnick starting at 3 o'clock. Here comes the new season. Go Hawks, and good night, everybody.
This has been Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Also brought to you by your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. By your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.